You guys about ready? Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Moreno Valley Unified School District Board of Education meeting. The Board of Education reconvened into open session at 7 p.m. Could I please go to roll call?
Hello, I am Humberto Rojo, and I am representing Moreno Valley High School.
Evan Morgan present.
Jesus again present.
Susan Smith present.
Gary Baugh present.
C.J. Johnson present.
Martin Rex Kedzior present.
Robert Verdi present.
Tina Dagnall present.
Maribel Maddox present.
Okay, item D2, report out of closed session. Discussion was held and direction given to staff on item 1, student discipline cases, public employee employment appointment. 3, public employee discipline dismissal, release, non-reelects, conference with labor negotiator. And 5, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. And 6, settlement of claims. As far as settlement of claims is concerned, a motion was made by Mr. Gary Baugh and seconded by Mr. Morgan to deny claim number 544-174 under the government code as presented. This was approved by the Board of Education with a vote of 5 ayes, no nays. And then a motion was made by Mr. Gary Baugh and seconded by Mrs. Susan Smith to authorize the settlement of claim number 0610-1085 under the government code as presented. This was approved by the Board of Education with a vote of 5 ayes, no nays, no abstention. And that motion carried. We have some new employees that we also spoke about earlier, but I'm going to wait until later to bring them up and introduce them. So if you're out in the audience and you're sitting, you paid for the ticket, so we're going to make sure that you watch the majority of this show. Okay. I want to make everybody, get everybody loose. Okay, open session, Pledge of Allegiance. Sir, would you please lead us?
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Please remain standing.
My quote this evening is from Oprah. Follow your passion. It will lead you to your purpose. I feel this means that you should never give up on your dreams. You have to find enjoyment in what you do so that you are motivated to keep doing it. Please be seated.
Okay, thank you, Humberto. Moving right along, open session pledge. We did the pledge, so dates of future board meetings. Our next meeting is scheduled for October the 24th. Closed session beginning at 5 p.m. with the open session at 7 p.m. here in the boardroom. And then the meeting after that will be November the 14th, closed session again starting at 5 p.m. with the open session starting at 7 p.m. And then the final meeting for the year 2017 already. December the 12th, my daughter's birthday, closed session at 5 p.m. and open session at 7 p.m. Organizational regular meeting. So at this time, could we please get the superintendent's report?
Thank you, Mr. Johnson, and welcome everyone this evening. I see some of our principals are standing in the back, and tonight there happens to be a lot of chairs in here. And I know y'all are used to standing up back there, but try to enjoy yourself and sit down, Thank you for being here. So every week we start with our mission statement, and one of the things we like to share with everyone is that our mission statement, we prepare students to be college and career ready. And what you'll hear tonight are many things that our students are prepared for college, but they're also prepared for career, and they graduate from high school. So our mission statement is very important to us. Our enrollment is 33,228 students, and we're very happy that all those students are coming to school. Our attendance, our average daily attendance is up, so we're very proud of that. This Wednesday, tomorrow, isn't that right, Mrs. Kerr? Tomorrow? And Mrs. Kerr is thinking about everything that she has to do tomorrow. She's the principal of Canyon Springs High School, along with Eric Swanson and Miss Brown there. But the SAT will be given to 2,570 12th grade students. This is something new that Moreno Valley Unified School District has been doing, and it's part of our local control accountability plan to make sure that our students are prepared when they apply for a college admission. The higher a student's score is on the SAT, they can qualify for more grants and scholarships. And the test is results can be customized for study plan for future tests. So we're excited about that. And then the PSAT is being given to 2,750 8th grade students and 6,337 10th and 11th grade students tomorrow. So this is a big day, and the 8th grade test is the practice for the SAT, and this also helps us identify honor students and students that have AP potential. And we didn't give these before in our district, and it's one of the things that many districts do now, but we were one of the first districts to do this in our LCAP, and it's to make sure that students have these opportunities to determine their college readiness and also how to do better on other tests. So that's tomorrow. And hopefully, if you're one of the students out there, we wish you the best of luck. And the principals, thank you for creating an environment where this will happen with great ease and little confusion. Thank you. On our Smarter Balanced test scores, one of the things that people talk about are the test scores in our district, and we look at them all the time. And if you see different articles that have been written, there's Educational Source, and then there's the Tom Torlakson, our public education state superintendent. They talk about the 3rd grade test scores and how they've improved so much across the state. One of the things that happened was that 3rd graders this year scored 47% as the average it meets or exceeds. Now, the big thing about that is we've been giving this test for 3 years, and these are the students that have been taught in the Common Core of the California State Standards. So in Moreno Valley, just as the state experienced growth in 3rd grade, we experienced growth in 3rd grade. And we saw that we went from 24% to 31.2%, 31.62% in 2017. That's a growth of almost 8%. Now, anything that's above 3% is statistically significant and very good. So, you could clap for that. And then the 3rd grade and ELA grew as well, 25% to 27.55%. Now, one of the things we know is that in math last year, we really worked on that very hard, and in ELA we adopted a new textbook series this year, so we expect to see even more growth. Now on the next slide, you'll see, well, no, it's not there. Okay, go back to the other one, because it didn't get put on there, but I remember this because I asked for it to be there, was we have 4 schools that, I just want you to know that the state average is 47%. So Ridgecrest Elementary School, in 3rd grade at that school, 62% of the kids met or exceeded standards in the 3rd grade at Ridgecrest. Now that's a full 20% or so above the state average. Now Ridgecrest is it's just a neighborhood school, but what happened there is the 3rd grade teachers are excellent. Mr. Swanson, who's one of our principals out there, wave your hand, Mr. Swanson, his children happened to go there. Now, that's not why they made such good scores, but it's a neighborhood school. It's in my neighborhood, and they just really did a good job with that. At Northridge, it was 41%. At Sunny Meadows, it was 42%. And there was another school, Hidden Springs, it was 44%. So those are 4 schools that really exceeded our expectations, but really grew exponentially. We have to really capitalize on that growth and really applaud that, because those are the students that are moving through our system. And the system, I want you to know, the system of testing changed 3 years ago. So these are the kids that have been taught in Common Core, and that's what we're looking at, is how kids are performing. So, yes, sir.
Do you mind pausing for just one second?
Sure.
I asked him to pause for a minute. While we don't have a full house, we have folks that's listening. And too often, I think, sometimes we take our children's education for granted. We send them off to school. Individually, they may do well, and then we're happy about that. But the fact that you guys live in this community and you are here tonight and you're hearing this, I want you to rethink what you just heard. And I'm going to ask that if you think we are making a lot of improvement with your children and our children, applaud and let the staff, the teachers, the schools know it, and especially those students who's worked so hard for themselves, for their parents, and for everybody at their schools. So would you just please just announce a couple of numbers, just so we can get everybody involved in this?
I mean, like,
Just at the bottom, yeah, just some of the great things, those four.
well, I just want to repeat about those four schools, but, you know, when you think about Ridgecrest Elementary School, it's a neighborhood school. Like I said, 62% of their kids met or exceeded standards. At the
62%.
The state average was 47%.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Can I?
You want to do another one? Yeah, you
I'll
move
just,
on.
yeah, I got more good stuff.
All right, go ahead. And we got more claps too.
Well, thank you, Mr. Johnson, for saying that's really important. Now, one of the things we're trying to do in our district is remain competitive with other school districts around us. And if your kids go to other districts, they take home their devices, you know, the Chromebooks. So one of the things we're doing is working on a plan to have our students take home their Chromebooks. And we know that in grades 3 through 12, there's enough so that students can take those home. So we're working on a plan to help make that happen in January. So you'll be hearing more about that. And as we develop that plan together and working with our parents and our community, be looking at that, because we do know that that's an important piece in helping students learn. Sometimes people say that kids don't have access to internet, and why would we do that? Did you know that 85% of our kids have access to the internet? So, and other kids, and I want you to know, and y'all can all verify this, but with the use of cell phones and technology, you know where to go to get access, right? Yeah. So that's not a problem. So thank you. Now, one of the things, we have a lot of interventions in our district, and I want you to know that we continue to look at schools and the implementation of their interventions and the progress that they're making. Achieve 3000 is the intervention program that is not used at every school, but at Valley View High School, where Ms. Johnson is the principal, and wave your hand, Ms. Johnson, be proud. And then Landmark Middle School, where Scott Walker is the principal, and he's not here this evening. He didn't know I was going to do this. But we do look at these interventions and the progress that students make. When the interventions are used, and if your child goes to a school, you need to talk to your principal about making sure that your child is in an intervention program if they're not reading at grade level and if they're not performing mathematically where they should be. So at Landmark Middle School, 21 students have exceeded the 75-point gain up to a 215-point gain. And at Valley View High School, 65 students have exceeded a 75-point gain up to 295-point gain.
Thank you.
Now, I want you to know, I put on this slide, students naturally make gains just by attending school, but those gains are not enough to close the large gaps that exist in students sometimes, the gaps in learning, the gaps in achievement. So Achieve 3000's goal with us is that each student doubles or triples the natural expected reading gains, and that helps students as they move into college and career curriculum, but also the rigor of what happens as they move through grade levels. So I applaud those two schools for implementing this with higher usage and supporting their students and creating those great gains.
Dr. Kadzior, would you explain what the 295-point gain is?
Well, it's
Is that the total of all those students, or?
well, no, that's what one student scored was
Oh,
295.
okay. Thank you.
They can grow at different levels, and that was one student that scored that at Valley View High School.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then I want you to know the board and their mission and vision direct staff to make sure that they continue to reach out for additional resources in the community, because we know that the resources that we have, while we have, abundant resources to help students. We always need more. So the district was awarded a $1.85 million grant. This was awarded to the California League of Schools, but they wrote us into the grant. We've already had grants with them before. We'll share this with 4 districts to implement the program. 3 elementary schools from Moreno Valley Unified School District, along with schools, there's 1 school in Hemet that will be in it, and 1 school in Elk Grove, and 1 school in Franklin McKinney. We have the most schools that will participate, and this is very similar to the I-3 grant that we implemented in the middle schools that has been hugely successful and has been applauded by the Department of Education, and also has been, people have come to visit. Lilia Villa is the Director of English Learners, but this is an extension of that. We're very excited about that. That's a big deal, y'all. Y'all should clap for that. It's a lot of money to give a school, some schools to do that. So we're very proud that our district participated in College Kickoff last week. It was last Wednesday, October the 4th. And these are just pictures from Sunnymead Middle School, Serrano, Vista Heights, Canyon Springs, and I think that last one's Towngate there. And this just shows the variety of activities that happened in different schools. And the next slide is from Badger Springs Middle School, but it's part of College Kickoff 2017. And this begins where we have a FAFSA, the financial aid form submission, where we have a competition. So Mrs. Johnson at Valley View was just points away from beating Rancho Verde last year in Val Verde, and you're probably going to exceed them this year, right? But what about Eric Swanson and Mrs. Kerr and Mrs. Brown? Are you going to help? What are your plans? You're going to. Okay.
I like that. I have a great plan.
No pressure.
So this Saturday, if you were so inclined, we're having our 3rd annual STEAM competition, and it's an STEAM competition and awareness conference. And this is to increase participation and support for STEAM. Now, I want to thank Mr. Johnson because he introduced us to Kevin Jackson from Steps Ahead Foundation. And is he here tonight?
No, I don't think he's here.
And he's the one that gets the funds, makes sure these kids have prizes, and it's a very exciting thing. It's going to start at 8 o'clock at Valley View High School this Saturday. And we have teams from 4 high schools, 4 middle schools, and Upward Bound and Trio programs from Reno Valley College. So I hope you'll join us for that. One of the things that the board has requested is that we do more about bullying, because we hear reports of bullying. I'm not probably saying that right. It's bullying. Am I saying it right? Bullying. Okay. So we've Lisa Broomfield, from our Director of Categorical Programs, has worked tirelessly to build programs to support bullying, and with Patty Rucker and Student Services. So this one is at our middle school. It's on October 19th, and this is an anti-bullying workshop for parents. There's going to be one of these at every middle school, and we take this very seriously and want to make sure that parents attend, but also that students have opportunities to learn about bullying and how to prevent it and to be safe in school. So there's also the elementary ones. There's a schedule of those, so check with your principal and make sure that you're attending one of these. If you can't go to the one at your school, attend another one. Last weekend, we attended a conference, the CLS, the California Latino School Boards Association Unity Conference, and our district was recognized there for our Declaration of Rights in the Arts and an education resolution recognized at the Unity Conference for being one of the first districts in California to have that resolution, but also to be the 51st district to hold an Arts Alliance program within our district. We had a breakfast on September 21st. But these 2 students from Valley View High School performed at this event. This is George Gonzalez, who's a Valley View High School student, and Yensid Ariano, who sang the national anthem. And I want you to know that everybody there said your district should be so proud of the children that attend there, because their talent was exceeded what they had seen in their own school. So y'all can clap, yeah. We continue to improve in mathematics, and this year the district grew 4% in mathematics. And I want you to know that in the Riverside County there are 23 school districts, and only 2 districts grew at 4%. The rest grew below that. So we're very proud of that. And as I told you before, those 4 schools, a lot of gains in mathematics. So we continue to offer family math nights because math is different than what it used to be. And so we need parents to, understand and work with their children. So these schools are having these math nights. These are all on our website. So if you need to get to one, please look on our website and you'll find one to attend. We're having a telephone town hall meeting on Thursday from 6 to 7. The telephone will ring at your house if it's registered with our program. And Chris Weddle is our public information officer, and he's coordinating this. So if you're going to get a auto dialer, one of those calls where I call and you hear my voice, it's me, y'all, when you hear it. And if your phone number isn't with us, we have a number you can call. But we'd like for as many people to participate in that as possible. And our topics are going to include math and language arts initiatives as well as new programs in the district. Mr. Scott, who's our Director of Safety and Security, is preparing us for our Shakeout, the Great California Shakeout, on Thursday, October 19th at 10:19 a.m. Everybody in the district will participate. And Mr. Scott, wave your hand. He's helping everybody prepare for that and take it seriously because we want to be prepared in case of any kind of event like this. There are VAPA events, visual and performing arts events that are happening. Those are also on our district calendar. So please make sure you look at that and support our students in the arts. We're having a community football game on November the 3rd, and this is where every one of our schools is playing, in our district that week. And we want to make sure that everybody attends. Tina Dagnall, who's the chief business official, is going to attend the Canyon Springs versus Riverside Poly game, along with a group of people that have been assigned to that game. Tina, do you want to wave and tell everybody that you're excited? And then Chief Academic Officer Maribel Maddox and Chief Human Resources Officer Dr. Robert Verdi will attend the Moreno Valley versus Vista del Lago game. And I think Maribel Maddox will be on the Moreno Valley side. And Dr. Verdi will be on the Vista del Lago side. So, if you want to join one of these cabinet members at one of these, please do. And then I'll be at Valley View High School where they play Riverside Arlington. And we're very excited to be part of this, and the board will be there too. They're going to be attending. We don't know which ones yet, but Diane will be finding out, and we'll let you know which ones they're going to be at. This week we have different games, and we hope that you can come out and support our teams and make sure that you're present at those. I'm going to be attending the Vista del Lago's homecoming game, and then Miss Maddox is supposed to attend Moreno Valley's homecoming game, and I'm going to even be driving in it. I'll be part of the parade because a student asked me to drive in it, so I'll be driving in it. So I'm excited about that. At the parade, not playing in the game. Okay. Then our facilities update. I don't know if you've driven by Edgemont Elementary, but it's simply spectacular what's happening there. And the building continues to take shape. I was there the other day, looked up, and, I thought this is really, something that's being built in this district. So thank you to Tina Dagnall and her team. And the plan is to move in December, and the students will start attending in January. So we're very excited about that. I hope you can join us. We're having a ribbon cutting. We like to, since our citizens voted for Measure M, we want to make sure that I don't know. Must be talking. Did somebody turn off my mic? Okay. Well, something happened. Does yours work? Oh, it came back on. Okay. So I want to make sure that you know that we're proud of these buildings as they get built, and we want to involve the community in celebrating those. So Serrano's two-story building will be October the 18th. That's next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And we hope you'll join us there and come see this building. It's amazing what's happened there. At Canyon Springs High School, this is Measure M funding. I'm sure if you've driven by there, I see Ralph Dudley, who's the athletic director, sitting out there, Mrs. Kerr. And y'all, are you excited, Ralph Dudley? I can't tell it now. Okay. I want you to work on that, all right? And then Mountain View Middle School and Canyon Springs High School. This is Proposition 39, state-funded energy uses reduction projects. And you'll see changes in lighting and air conditioning and heating there at those schools. And then Mountain View Middle School and Canyon Springs High School, the same thing. And then you'll see Moreno Valley High School, Mrs. Brown is out there, and she cannot contain her excitement as she sees the doors and the changes to the buildings. There's a new two-story building going up there. And then their gymnasium will be the first in the district, well, besides Bridges, Dr. Herreras, and you'll be excited about this because you won't be the only air-conditioned gym, and everybody won't want to use your school. So we're very excited about this, but their gym will be the first air-conditioned gym in the district and be totally modernized. They're taking everything out. Miss Brown told me the other day when I was there, she said, Dr. Kidzera, they're not leaving anything in there. It's going to be all different. It's going to be brand new. Isn't that what you told me? Okay. And so that's exciting. That's an exciting thing. Y'all can clap. Yeah. You can keep going. Thank you. So this month is Hispanic Heritage Month. And principals sent me some of the activities they're doing. This is from Armada Elementary School, who had their second annual Hispanic Heritage Festival on September 29th. And they had a lot of parents and community attend, and that was very exciting for them to participate in that. And then Moreno Valley High School, on Wednesday, they're having a ballet folklorico lunch performance, and then their head custodian, Michael Ramirez, is going to be speaking to students on the 1945 Mendez versus Westminster landmark court case. And he's very passionate about that, and that's very nice that he wants to do that and speak to the students about that. So as we think about Hispanic Heritage Month as it draws to a close, at the California Latino School Boards Association meeting, they were sharing about how we have to work in unity and work together. And so this is an ancient Mayan philosophy, but it really symbolizes when we have these different months, why we do it. And Mr. Holguin, do you want to read the Spanish part and I'll read the English part? I was practicing this today, but it's not going to sound right. So you read the Spanish part and then I'll read the English part.
All right. Tú eres mi otro yo.
You are my other me.
Si te hago daño a ti,
If I do harm to you,
me hago daño a mí mismo.
I do harm to myself.
Si te amo y respeto,
If I love and respect you,
me amo y respeto yo.
I love and respect myself. So as we go through these different months where we honor people, always remember it's about all of us and it's about us supporting each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kidzera. Really appreciate that. So moving on to school reports. Humberto, I'll turn it over to you.
Will the representative for Bayside Charter High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, President Johnson, Vice President Baugh, Clerk Smith, members of the board, and Dr. Kidzera. My name is Destiny Ramirez, and this is Karen Velarde, and we represent Bayside and Moreno Valley Community Learning Center. I am happy to be here to share some of the exciting things happening at Bayside and Charter this year. We have focused our attention on college every Wednesday. Staff wears college t-shirts and greets students at the gate with good morning and emphasis on college. We have short surveys the students are given to go around and ask staff different questions. The students with the most answers wins a prize. Recently, several of our staff was privileged to attend the PBIS National Conference, which took place in Chicago. They spent many hours working with colleagues from around the country, sharing ideas and networking. On Thursday, October 12th, we will be having our first blood drive of the year. Bayside has been sponsoring the blood bank by holding 4 blood drives each year. We always have a good turnout of staff and students.
Tomorrow we will be administering the PSAT and SAT tests for our students. We are currently getting ready for this important test and the students have been studying hard. The MVCLC Charter School just finished a 2-year midterm visit by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. They came to visit our school and learn more about our program. Our athletic program will be starting later this month with boys and girls volleyball. The students have had their physicals and are looking forward to their games. Also, in conjunction, Moreno Valley High School girls volleyball team has been using our gym due to the construction taking place at their gym. Maybe this change has contributed to their winning streak. Maybe Bayside has successfully completed the first quarter of the school year. Teachers have put in their grades and report cards have been mailed home. On Friday, October 13th, we will be having our PBIS Awards Assembly for students. The teachers are hard at work selecting their best students for this honor. And that concludes our report. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Will the representative for Canyon Springs High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Ked Ziora, Cabinet and Community of Moreno Valley. I am Jordan Myers, ASB Secretary. I am pleased to announce all the fantastic activities that have occurred at Canyon Springs this month. October 4th was College Kickoff Day at Canyon Springs. Juniors and seniors took a college cruise in the gym, complete with fun college-themed games. We held college application workshops through the government and economic classes. This includes Moreno Valley College reps who came to help students who are planning to going to community college. Counselors held our first FAFSA workshop of the year and will hold 2 more, October 14th and October 18th. Guidance, along with ASB, is hosting the College Door Decorating Contest for grades 9 through 11, which will be judged on October 18th, the same day as our College and Career Fair. Our college staff is also still continuing our Coffee with the Counselors series, with the next one on November 1st. This is a time when parents can come meet with counseling staff and gather information. In other academic news, all of our students are busy preparing for tomorrow's PSAT and SAT administrations. The AP Readiness Program attracted 111 students to participate and prepare for AP courses. The Business Academy seniors will be participating in the Moreno Valley Business Expo this Thursday. The juniors are starting to put their businesses together. The Academy is supporting Fill the Pink on Friday for breast cancer awareness. We are also looking forward to participating in Saturday's STEAM Challenge, Steps Ahead Future Innovators Competition. With our construction for the new sports complex, the City of Moreno Valley and the Parks and Recreation Department have been working closely with the Canyon Springs Athletic Department, and not only the stadium's construction, but use of the parks for sports which are impacted due to construction. Canyon Springs High School would like to thank them for seeing the future of our school. Our academic coaches have started a new professional development program this school year called Flipped PD. Ms. Beeman, one of the coaches, said, in the spirit of growth mindset and conjunction with the hashtag It's Okay to Fail initiative, teachers and staff at Canyon Springs High School are encouraged to pursue ongoing learning and professional development. Our teachers and staff earn stripes by sharing this learning with the staff. Many of our teachers are close to earning the stripes for their lanyard. ASB had a very successful Week to Be a Kid Again homecoming. We had a football win and just under 400 students attend the homecoming dance. Everyone was required to have at least 95% positive attendance in order to attend the dance. Now, ASB is working on preparations for community football game and the Sadie Hawkins Fall Festival, which will be held in November. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
No, thank you. Good job.
Will the representative for March Mountain High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, school board members, superintendent, and cabinet. My name is Michelle Slayton, your board representative for March Mountain High School. We are continuing with our implementation of PAWS on campus to encourage positive behavior and student responsibility. The P stands for persevering mindset, A stands for always respectful, W is for willingly responsible, and lastly, S is for safety conscience. Teachers give out PAWS tickets to students that are caught doing good deeds, including but not limited to being on task, good and going above and beyond with what it is expected, wearing college shirts or school colors, which are on appropriate days, excelling on tests, showing acts of good character on campus, as well as working well with others. On Friday, we wear our school colors, black and yellow for March Mountain and black and blue for March Valley. On Wednesdays, we wear college t-shirts and sweatshirts to represent our college or college we are inspired to attend. Our school continues to use our weekly advisory classes as an important tool to track progress towards graduation, grades in classes, and to look at many opportunities we have for higher education and preparation for the workforce. During the college kickoff, we have had several presenters on campus. Upcoming events at March Mountain, March Valley include a clothing drive to support those in need that started on September 5th and runs through October 26th. Students in the manufacturing and logistics class went to UPS last weekend to see how Logistics Center is set up and how the class fits in the jobs there. Several students went on a field trip to Knott's Scary Farm on September 29th as a reward for great attendance, great behavior, and good grades. Tomorrow, our seniors will be taking the SAT and other grades will be taking the PSAT. Wish them the best of luck. Congratulations to Joseph Adame, who cannot make it with us tonight as he is working with a recruiter to fill out paperwork to enter the Army. This concludes my report. Thanks for your opportunity to speak with you this evening. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Will the representative for Valley View High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, board members, Dr. Ketziora, cabinet and community of Moreno Valley. I'm Serene Manuel, the school board representative for Valley View High School, and I am pleased to announce all of the amazing things occurring at Valley View. Eagles showed their excellence by ending the month with 525 students having perfect attendance. In addition to this, we would like to highlight one student in particular who exemplifies what it truly means to be an Eagle at Valley View. We want to congratulate Sydney Robinson for earning the October Student of the Month. One of the most prestigious student recognition programs on campus is Valley View's chapter of the National Honor Society. On September 29th, 52 sophomores were inducted into NHS to join the 32 remaining returning members. Together, the students will strive towards representing the 4 pillars of NHS: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Valley View is ecstatic about the upcoming Pixar-themed homecoming events. We kicked off our homecoming season with the Homecoming Carnival held on Friday, October 6th. We will follow that event with an assembly and float parade beginning at 9:39 a.m. on Friday, October 20th. The pregame festivities will begin at 6:15 with our homecoming football game against Canyon Springs High School at 7 p.m. Let's go Eagles! Our Eagles are not only leading in our student events, but we strive for excellence in our academics as well with our college kickoff week. Our college-going festivities included the following events: College Walk, where students use sidewalk chalk to replicate their college and university choices. On Tuesday of that week, we held a college decathlon at both lunches where students answered questions about colleges and universities and received prizes. On Wednesday, we held a college rally in our gymnasium at both lunches. Then on Thursday, students and teachers decorated their doors in honor of their favorite colleges and universities. In fact, each hallway in our school has chosen a college and career path to focus on. During the announcements each day, we played college fight songs to get our students motivated. Our culminating event was our college and career fair. We invited over 52 colleges and universities, as well as the military. We also had career choices available for our students in fields such as auto mechanics, police academy, as well as ways to finance for college. As part of our efforts to get our students to college, counselors went to classrooms to assist our students with their college application deadlines. Valley View is offering resources to guide students through the process. This past week, students have been creating their FSA IDs as well as submitting FAFSA. On October 11th, we will be having a school-wide SAT and PSAT day. Seniors will take the SAT at no charge, while freshmen, sophomores, juniors will take PSAT at no charge. We have held SAT workshops on Saturday using Schmoop, as well as after-school workshops to support our students in taking these exams. Our Eagles are also busy giving back to the community. It is a must for us. In the midst of the natural disasters within the past month, our Black Students Union collected school supplies for victims. Amnesty International raised $520 for the Houston Food Bank after Harvey. In addition, several other clubs on campus are coming together to provide service to the victims. The National Honor Society is also beginning their annual food drive this week in order to help the community. What a great way to spread our eagle wings and love. The performing arts at Valley View have been hard at work preparing for shows this month. Just last month, Valley View's choir sang the national anthem alongside other choir groups at the Angels game. Their next concert is on October 12th at 6 p.m. Drama's fall production is from October 25th to 27th at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Recently, our band performed at the Canyon Springs Field Tournament. One of our percussionists, Bronson Gold, auditioned and was selected to perform at the 2017-2018 Tournament of Roses Honor Band on New Year's Day. Finally, the Eagles are making their mark on the field. Girls volleyball is 12-6 and 5-0 in league. Boys water polo is 13-8, 0-1 in league. Girls tennis is 4-7 and 3-5 in league. Girls golf is 10-4 and 8-2 in league. And football is 4-2 and 1-0 in league. Congratulations to our varsity football team who beat the Pauley Riverside Bears 62-14. That's all for Valley View High School's report. Thank you for your time. Any questions?
No, thank you. Very good report.
Thank you.
Will the representative for Vista del Lago High School come forward and present the report?
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Kedziora, teachers, parents, students, and community. I am Samantha Garan, ASB President representing Vista del Lago High School, and I am here tonight to bring you exciting news from our campus. As the year begins, we remain focused on exhibiting our Raven values of R for respect, A for achieve, V for value, E for engage, and for never give up, and S for succeed, as well as our school motto to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and take care of the school. On Friday, September 29th, Vista del Lago had their very own academic assembly for our high-achieving students. The theater was completely filled with amazing Ravens. Our ASB team and administration had the opportunity to congratulate our Ravens for all of the hard work and sincere efforts demonstrated during spring semester. There were performances from our award-winning dance team as well as our madrigals. We also presented our student-selected prestigious Teacher of the Year award to Mrs. Lakeisha Beeson. Unfortunately, she was not able to attend the ceremony, so our AIIAC, Mrs. Dunhams, accepted on the behalf of the equal amount of excitement that we were sure would have shown by Mrs. Beeson. AP students are dedicated in preparing for the AP exams coming up in May. Mrs. Dunhams is motivating students to go to the AP readiness workshops at UCR. Students that are taking the opportunity to participate are receiving tips and tricks on how to receive the top score of a 5 on the exam. Our next workshop day is this Saturday, October 14th. On Wednesday, October 4th, our counselors kicked off College Awareness Month with our 4th annual College and Career Day. Various representatives from the colleges and universities from all over California came to Vista Lago to take part in this momentous event. We had lively music, lunchtime activities, and a special guest appearance from our very own Dr. Kedziora. Thank you for supporting our students' collegiate pursuits. SAT/PSAT school day is taking place on Wednesday, October 11th. We have had a modified schedule so that our sophomores, juniors, and seniors can test in one block of time. Our 9th grade students will be participating in a unique conference designed to encourage and motivate them to the champions of their own success and develop the ability to resiliate in face of adversity. We will have several motivation speakers for this conference, including the actual author from the Freedom Writers Journal. On Wednesday, September 13th, we hosted our back to school night. Students and parents came on campus to hear from our wonderful administration, counselors, and teachers regarding our high expectations of all Ravens. Superintendent Dr. Kedziora and board members, Mr. Holguin, came on campus to see how Vista Lago is number 1. ASB also facilitated another Fun in the Sun activity for our students with special needs. There were carnival games, exciting entertainment, and tons of snacks. Our campus was also the host of our district UCAN night on Wednesday, September 20th. This event drew hundreds of students from the Inland Empire, and many were offered and accepted to historically Black universities and colleges that evening. Homecoming 2017 has just begun. We kicked off this exhilarating week with a dance on Saturday, October 7th. There were approximately 600 students in attendance. There was a plethora of carnival games and an obstacle course, as well as a glow-in-the-dark dance. Our ASB director, Mr. Munoz, surprised the entire student body with a magical scene as he dressed up like a fantasy wizard to announce the princes, princesses, and the courts of Queen and King. Health Academy took a trip to the body exhibit on Thursday, September 28th to learn more about the functions and purpose of the human anatomy. Students were amazed by the hands-on experience and returned to the clear view of their career pathway. This month is dedicated to breast cancer awareness. Staff and students are being encouraged to wear pink every Thursday to show their support and spread awareness. On to sports. Our girls' tennis team has been representing us well. They have tied in second in league. The Ravens football team is working extremely hard to earn that big win this Friday at our homecoming game. Our girls volleyball team is 8-7 and currently in 3rd place in league. Girls golf is in the middle of a pack in the Inland Valley League, and cross country is holding their own league as well. We are very proud of our Ravens for their diligence and dedication to Vista Lago High School. This concludes my report for this evening. Are there any questions?
Questions? Thank you very much.
I'd also like to add something, if that was okay.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So, considering our homecoming game is on Friday, Vista Lago would like to invite you with VIP passes and parking to experience all the fun with us. So, if you look, there's like a lanyard and it has Vista Lago and it says a fantasy. Yes.
Yes, we have one. Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and school board members. I am Humberto Rojo, and I will be giving the school board report from Moreno Valley High School. In academics and avid news, students took the SATs this past Saturday, October 7th, and tomorrow 10th and 11th graders are taking the pre-SAT, and all 12th graders will be taking the SATs. Counselors hosted a night for parents and students to meet and greet their counselor. The night was a success. Avid participated in their mock revalidation visit on September 26th. Teachers are getting prepared for their actual visit on November 9th. We wish them the best of luck and know that they will do well. Mr. Williams accompanied over 30 students to UCAN HBCU College Fair at Vista del Lago. Several of our students received full ride scholarships. Counselors are ensuring that all seniors are ready for college by making class visits and helping students log in to the FAFSA website. In athletics news, our Lady Vikings volleyball team is 10-0 and still undefeated in league. 2 weekends ago, they attended the Nike Elite Tournament in Arizona. They placed 5th in their bracket. Our Viking football team is now in league as well this week. They have a 4-2 record as they face off against Banning this Friday for our homecoming game. In ASB and activities news, we are celebrating homecoming this week. Our pep rally game and halftime show and dancer this Friday, October 13th. Students are participating in Spirit Week by dressing up for the various themed days. Our annual MVHS talent show was Thursday, October 5th. Congratulations to Leah Martinez for hula hooping while solving the Rubik's Cube. Last Wednesday, our school participated in College Kickoff Day on Wednesday, October 4th. Students were greeted in the morning by staff all dressed in their gear. English classes competed in mock Olympic-style games each period while Miss Brown raffled prizes. Our SAP counselor helped students recognize Yellow Ribbon Week by putting on lunchtime activities and movie presentations. Students were made aware of the signs of suicide and ways to prevent suicide through daily morning announcements. Counselors are also preparing for Red Ribbon Week by introducing a drug prevention motivational speaker and movie presentations on campus. Hispanic Heritage Month activities are underway. We have daily announcements, and our Ballet Folklorico is performing at lunch on Wednesday, October 18th. Our night custodian, Michael Ramirez, is speaking to our students about his father's role in the Mendez versus Westminster School District Court case on October 20th. Last Wednesday, the rapper Silento performed in the quad. Students were entertained while staff joined him on stage. Our choir performed the national anthem at Angel Stadium on September 29th with 25 other schools. PTO sold over 100 tickets to the first annual Zumbathon. 30 parents and students participated. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you much. So you guys, you could be dismissed. I think you guys are done. Unless you just want to stay. Would you like to stay?
You gotta take the PSAT and the SAT.
Yes, so you guys better run. Okay, Dr. K and Dr. Verdi, I have a slight change, if you don't mind. I want to do the recognitions next, Ed Services, and then end up with Dr. Verdi. So we don't have to vote on anything, so we will go down.
We gotta vote on the appointments.
Yeah. Oh, yes, respect. Sheet on the. Where is it? See, I done tore the sheet off. Where are my appointments at, Dr. Brady?
Where are they at?
Yeah. We have to vote on it. I shouldn't have torn it off. Okay. Right. Let me see. Right here.
That's them.
Right here. Right here. Oh yeah. We don't have to.
Yes.
We don't have to vote.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so if we go to page 3, let's go to page 3. C2, public employee employment. You guys are there? Okay, so we're at, if you're following us with your agenda, we're at C2, page 3, public employee employment appointment pursuant to Government Code 54957. Assistant Administrator of Instructional Improvement and Academic Coaching. We have a name for that one. We're going to call that name in just a minute. And then for Director 3 Business Services, we also have a name for that one, and we will call that name in a minute as well. So I don't see why we have to do a motion on this. Do we?
We have to vote to hire.
Yeah.
Or you can do it later with consent, or you can do it separately now.
Well,
We
let's
can do it
just,
later with consent. That's fine.
okay,
Let's do it separately now.
let's do it right now. Okay, so can I get a motion?
I
to
motion
accept
that
these
we
promotions?
accept these hires.
Okay. Can I
Second.
get a second? Okay, we got a call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Okay.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
I'll do it.
Aye.
Mr. Ba?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye. So we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstentions. And I was trying to keep it a secret, but I guess I need to call the names of the folks. One of my good friends from Vista Del Lago, Brenda, where is she? There she is over there. You don't have to get up right now. You're going to get up in a minute. And then,
Brenda Burgo.
yeah, Brenda Burgo, yes. And then the other one,
It's Jessica Garcia.
Jessica Garcia. Yes. Is she here? Where is she? Oh, right over there. We're going to bring you up in a minute, okay? All right, so with that being said, let's go down, and then we're going to bring you up, and so prepare your speech. I know you have your speech already. And he's going to be first. You first.
Will Patty Rucker, the Coordinator of Student Services, please join me at the podium? I have a resolution here from the district, and I'll read you kind of a summary of it. This person is critical to it. Drug use and abuse remains a very serious problem in California and across the nation. And as a school board, we're especially concerned about drug use among young people. Especially disturbing is the continuing rise in abuse of highly addicting prescription drugs, which too easily end up in the hands of school-age young people. So we are proud to support a resolution in honor of the annual Red Ribbon Week, during which our schools emphasize anti-drug education, marked by the wearing of red ribbons and a commitment by the students to remain drug-free. We encourage all parents, teachers, students, and other school personnel and members of the community to take part in Red Ribbon Week. I call it Red Week, that's what I call it, okay. And to demonstrate their commitment to safe and tobacco and drug-free schools and communities. So I'm honored to be able to present this to you, Patty, and give you the opportunity to say some words.
Thank you, Mr. Baugh. As always, I want to thank the board and Dr. Kedziora for the support for all the programs that we have for students. Like Mr. Baugh said, that there's a rise in prescription drugs, painkillers, fentanyl, Oxycontin. If you're prescribed that, please make sure it's under your lock and key because students are getting it. More so back east in the Midwestern states, their kids are overdosing, and then the police officers have the remedy in their car. So when they're OD, they just kind of automatically give them a shot to kind of revive them. So we don't want that here. We want to educate our students and keep them safe. So thank you for your support and your knowledge.
Mrs. Maddox, so you shake a hand.
Good evening. It is my pleasure tonight to announce our recognitions of students and staff. I'd like to start by announcing the students that participated in the Tech Trek camp that we had this summer. So I would like to ask Miss Ginger Martin, who's actually a retired teacher from our district, and Barbara Ryan, the president of the American Association of University Women, to please come on up. We want to acknowledge you and thank you for sponsoring our students, for assisting us with all this. Do you have other members that you would like to come up? No. Yes. I will go ahead and let me announce the students. So let me talk to you a little bit. Tech Trek is a week-long STEM summer camp for 7th grade girls. The girls are nominated by their 7th grade math or science teachers, and the girls are selected, and they actually spend a week at Whittier College doing activities, getting team building, but keeping them really interested in the STEM field. So it's great that our students participate in this opportunity. So let me introduce to you, and it's competitive. We had 4 students that attended this past summer. So we have Lacey Bridget and Luna Yepes from Sunnymead Middle School. If you're here, students, can you please come on up? And the principals, now you know anytime your student is called, you automatically come on up. Thank you. And then we have Megan Guzman and Jacqueline Cerna from Badger Springs, if they're here. And with that, I'm going to ask Ms. Ryan to say a few words.
Thank you. I'd gladly say a few words. Tech Trek program has gone on for a number of years. It was originally in California as an AAUW project. It then went national. And so turn around, girls, turn around and show I was surprised at all the states it's now in. I saw Bend, Oregon on there, and I go, I didn't know there were camps in Oregon. But there's one important thing about Moreno Valley. Former AAUW member and I made a trip to see Dr. White and Dr. Kidziora to tell them about this program. And Dr. White at that time said, can you finance 2? I think it was $800 at that point per girl. We said we'd love to. The next year, when Dr. White and Dr. Kidziora attended our Tech Trek brunch in September, Dr. White and Dr. Kidziora said, we wrote a grant, and we're going to sponsor girls for the next 3 years. And that's wonderful. So I kind of subbed in Moreno Valley, but I taught most of my 30-some years in Riverside. Well, once you have some superintendents on board, you go challenge the other one. So I challenged Dr. Hanson. It took him a couple years. So you did good. And I think what's very important is I've spread the word. This is such a valuable program for our young girls to attend. They get to spend a week on a college campus. Parents can't go, and they can't have their phones. And the girls come back, and the difference from when we interview them to when they come back and talk to us in September, you can see the growth. You can see I really like science. It was good to spend a week with people that like things I like, and some of them will admit no boys around was kind of good. But I spread the word to other branches, and they say, how did you get school districts to contribute? I say, you just ask. And I've gotten calls from Northern California, all over Southern California, so I praise Moreno Valley for their start of that. And thank you very much.
Thank you. I would now like to acknowledge Kaylin Andrews from Canyon Springs High School. So I want to invite the principal, Ms. Tamara Kerr. I see the athletic director, Mr. Ralph Dudley, and if his coach is here, Coach Howard. Thank you. I want to make sure, Kaylin, that I get all your stats right. So they're written down. So if they change, you can update us. The Board of Education would like to honor Kaylin Andrews, Canyon Springs High School football quarterback. Canyon Springs High School football has accumulated 1,419 offensive yards over its first 4 games, and Kalen has had a hand in 74% of that production. He has 612 yards on the ground and thrown for 394 yards, and he's even hauled in a 40-yard reception. Kalen has helped in 13 of the team's 14 touchdowns, including 1 kickoff return. We acknowledge his coach, Coach Howard Boyd. I acknowledge you for your great feat so far, and I know there's more to come. And congratulations to the school and the varsity football team. Thank you, Coach, and for being here tonight. Thank you.
Before we sit, I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about the new coach. Well, not new anymore. He was new last year. But this coach impressed me. Jesus and I went to one of his games last year, and we went on the field, and we listened to him talk to his kids. His kids didn't do as well as he wanted them to do last year, but they did well. And you can see the difference from last year to this year. And then you can see what his quarterback is doing because what he learned from his coach. So I'd like to have the coach, I'm putting him on the spot, to just let him tell us who he is, where he came from in Louisiana, and what is some of his vision for not only our district, but more importantly for your school and your kids. And your state, and our new stadium.
First of all, give it honor to God. Second of all, I had opportunity to come to Canyon Springs for the first time last year. This is my second year here at Canyon Springs, and my whole purpose is to build integrity in these young men. I played for Grambling State University, legendary Eddie Robinson at Grambling State University, and I also had a short stint with the Dallas Cowboys. But the most important thing that he taught me was integrity as a young man. And that's what I distributed back to these young men here at Canyon Springs, because you build champions first in the classroom. Once you build those champions in the classroom, then you build them on the field. And then once that carries from the field into their community, it's given back to the community. And that's what we're doing right now at Canyon Springs High School. And the honor for me to be able to be the coach there, to turn the program around, to get it going. They said once you build the stadium, they will come. And the stadium is being built at this time, and now the community is starting to become very supportive in what we're trying to do. And that's the integrity of bringing the culture back to that school, as well as the integrity of these young men. And that's what we strive to do. And I'm definitely honored to be a part of that and to striving to be successful. And we start by building champions. And I just want to thank our athletic director, Mr. Dudley, and our principal, Ms. Kerr, for giving me the opportunity to establish that with these young men, and that's what we strive to do. Thank you.
And I was told that his mother is in our audience. Would you please come on up and get in our picture, please? You must be so proud. Thank you for being here, for bringing him to us. Thank you. I would now like to invite our superintendent, Dr. Katsura, to come and acknowledge our parents that really have assisted us with Pacific Crest.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce these people to our community because I was fortunate to attend a Pacific Crest banquet where our students participate in Pacific Crest. But how many of you have been to the 4th of July parade in our community? You don't have to raise your hand, but if you haven't, you should be here because every year our district is in a partnership with Pacific Crest, and they join our 4th of July parade. And this is something that communities just don't have, but because of our school district's partnership, they are here. But what I learned that evening was we have a group of parents. I don't know if you've seen the movie Hidden Figures, but these are people that work behind the scenes on behalf of our school district and work tirelessly and ask for nothing. What they contribute to our community is immeasurable, and what they do is unbelievable. Mr. Holguin is on the board for Pacific Crest, and he knows all of these unsung heroes, but their children also attend our school district. I'm very proud to introduce these people to you and to honor them this evening in our community because we've never done this before. And they've been honored by Pacific Crest, but never by our school district. So would you please join me in welcoming, this was the 2012, that each year they honor people in Pacific Crest who have contributed to the organization. And in 2012, Amy Clayton was honored. So Amy Clayton, please join us up here. I'm going to call all of you up here. And then in 2014, Pacific Crest honored John and Helen Matter. And in 2015, they honored Larry Vagiga and Michelle Montemayor. And in 2016, they honored Mike and Lisa McFarland. And all of these people are from Canyon Springs High School. So Ms. Kerr, would you like to come join them? And this is a really big tribute to our community because this is a national drum corps. And our students participate in this, but also our parents and our community participate in it and provide hours and hours of dedication in making this happen. So I would like to say thank you to them as the superintendent for what they contribute to making Moreno Valley a better community, but also a community that people notice because of what they do. So would you please help me congratulate them?
Thank you, Dr. Katsura. I just want to say that these parents have been very active with the marching band at Canyon Springs High School and other activities, not just the marching band, but also when their children went to join Pacific Crest, they became as active with that organization as before. And in some cases, they were active in both at the same time. So they put a lot of hours, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, and never asking for anything in return. They wanted their students to be successful there and also the whole organization. So their presence there has been outstanding over the years. I'm very proud to call them my friends, but they're just outstanding examples of parent engagement, parent participation in all those activities. And their students, their children are excelling in school and the academics too. So that's the result of the parent involvement. So thank you so much for your participation. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. This ends our recognition. We keep recognizing our students and staff at every board meeting. and it's wonderful to see so many people involved, and thank you for being here. Thank you.
I'm going to bring on Dr. Verdi, but before I do that, if you notice your program, I kind of like deviated from it. I did it on purpose because we've got some people, one person that's new, and we've got one lady who's been here for a while. But I wanted you guys to see the group that you're joining, Moreno Valley Unified. She already knows, and I'm sure you found out as well. But I want you to see one of the things that we take pride in doing and making sure that we let people know how we feel about the work that they've done and the accomplishments they've made for our district. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Verdi, who's going to give you a proper introduction.
Good evening, folks. Earlier this evening, based on staff recommendation, the board has approved the hiring and appointment for two positions. First, the instructional coach position. This individual's been with our district since 2005. And one thing that really stuck out for Cabinet during some of the interview process was just her heart for students. And that's going to translate towards instructional improvement at Valley View High School. So at this time, I'd like to call to the microphone Mrs. Brenda Burgo and congratulate her on her new position. This is an academic and administrative instructive coach position, in case I didn't make that clear. It's an instructional coach position at Valley View. So Brenda's going to be working with the teachers to improve instruction at that site. So I'll turn the microphone over to you, and if you want to introduce your special guest tonight before you shake hands with the board, Brenda. Congratulations.
Thank you, board. Thank you, Dr. Ketzior. I would like to thank my husband. I'm really excited to be working at Valley View with Miss Karen Johnson. Yay! Go Eagles.
That's it. That's good. 50 seconds. We'll come on. Congratulations. You want a picture? So you go around, shake hands, and then come back. Yeah, we're good. She comes back around here. She kind of threw me off, you know, with the 10-second thing, you know. She talked more than that. When I was at school.
Yes, okay. And in business services, we're bringing on a new director. She has had experience in Valverde as well as Lake Elsinore, and she's going to fit in so well with our business department because this lady realizes what it's all about. It's about students. So I'd like to congratulate and bring to the microphone Jessica Garcia. Congratulations. I'll let you introduce your special guest too. All right.
Well, I'd like to thank the board tonight, and I'd like to thank Dr. K as well as the full cabinet. I really do appreciate this vote of confidence and the opportunity and being able to be here tonight. I brought my husband, who continues to support me in this journey, and two of the four daughters that we do have. Two are at home, one sick and one studying, so they couldn't make it. But being here and seeing the passion in this district, it's really it's refreshing and it's motivating and inspiring to want to continue in my journey in school business. So thank you.
Yes. All right. Oh, sure. Let's go to my file too. Congratulations. So I guess we're done now. Yeah, we're done now. sorry. Bless you. I'd like to go back to page, oh, where's David?
He went to the restroom.
Oh,
Go on to page 3.
I can do page 6. Well, I gotta take. Well, Evan is not here right now, so maybe what if I skip? Where can I go, though? Because everything calls for a vote. Yeah. Well, we'll just wait a few minutes till you come back.
Well, you could go to page 10.
Page 10?
And the staff response to public comments made at previous
Okay.
meetings.
Okay,
I
let's
can do that.
Okay, let's do that then. While we're waiting for, oh, here he comes.
We can do it.
Well, we can still do it anyway.
Go ahead to that. And get that.
Okay, let's get it. We're looking at page 6 on the resolution for 2017-18 Red Ribbon Week. The Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District does hereby support October 23rd through 31st, 2017 as Red Ribbon Week. It encourages all citizens to participate in tobacco, alcohol, and other drug prevention programs and activities, making a visible statement and commitment for healthy, drug-free communities in which to raise a generation of drug-free youth. So can I please get a motion?
Second.
Okay, we've got Jesus made a motion, and we've got a second by Mr. Bach. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Hoagie?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye, so we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstention. That motion carried. Now let's go to page 11, where we have the consent agenda.
That's 10.
Oh, 10.
Ten.
Never mind.
Public comment.
The wrong one. 10. Staff reports on public comments made at previous meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We have 2 clarifications we'd like to make. That these were by people that spoke at our board meeting, and one of them was on our volunteer procedures. A person spoke and talked about what they thought were procedures that weren't in place, but there are. So we wanted to make clear to the public when this was said that there are instructions for schools when community members or parents want to volunteer at a school site. We verify individuals are not a registered sex offender or Megan's Law on Megan's Law website. The school provides names of authorized volunteer to our risk management. The expectations of volunteers are the form is signed by the principal, and the volunteer to complete the TB form is completed. Once TB information is received, risk management forwards the paperwork. And board policy 12-1240, school volunteers under direct supervision of certificated staff member. However, if the volunteer is without certificated staff supervision, after school coaching such as that, they notify human resources for fingerprinting. No TB test will be administered by the district. If the TB states that no risk, the volunteer may begin, and if at risk, the volunteer is responsible for the TB test individually. And the volunteer agreement must be signed by the volunteer and the principal. So important points that we want the public to remember is the principal shall be fully responsible for all volunteers on campus, and the volunteers must follow the directions provided by the supervising certificated employee, and the volunteers are not to touch or physically interact with students in a manner which is harmful or uncomfortable to the student. And volunteers who perform campus or playground supervision duties must participate in district-provided training. So we wanted to clarify this because we had someone speak at a board meeting and say that our volunteer policies, that they got through them pretty quickly, but as you can see, there's a procedure and a practice that's in place, and that's just not possible. We also wanted to provide comment on a comment that was made during the comment section, were presentations during public comments. In response to a question regarding public speakers allowing a PowerPoint presentation that was longer than 3 minutes. We do allow the use of a PowerPoint during the public comment period as long as the presentation stays within allotted time. Presentations must be submitted prior to the beginning of the meeting. The presentation that was in question was used. They had 3 speakers, all of whom filled out a form before the start of the meeting, and the group of 3 speakers did not use more than the allotted time of 3 minutes per person, and their PowerPoint was included during that speaking time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kay. Moving on, item E8, public comments on non-agenda, because I don't have any agenda items. So the Board of Education encourages public comments. During this section, staff may briefly respond to statements or questions, or may ask questions for clarification. The board may refer to staff or other resources for factual information, direct staff to report back at a subsequent meeting, and/or direct staff to place the topic on a future agenda. If someone wants to lodge a complaint against an employee, the appropriate form may be obtained at any school or the community education center. Individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for a total of 3 minutes on non-agenda item, regardless of the number of issues to be addressed by the individual. The Board of Education shall limit the total time for public input on non-agenda items to 21 minutes. Per Board Bylaw 9323, twice the allotted time will be provided to a member of the public utilizing a translator. And then finally, with Board of Education's consent, the President may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentations, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The President may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. That's Board Bylaw 9323, BC Section 5. So, with that being said, we have 4 or 5 speakers, and the first one we have is Jose Chavez. Where? Oh, over there.
Good evening, everybody. I lasted you guys for like a little longer a month. I was under surgery in my spine. I believe you guys are happy by that time because I just barely received an answer from the president of the school district. And it's been confusing right here for him, not for me, because he mixed it up, law enforcement with political matters. Something is not seen correctly. So, and I was expected to get my answer from Mr. Pixiora because he's the boss in charge for the whole district, no one else. That's why I wrote him up, a special letter to you to respond for your employees. So, and regardless of the kind of issue, like I say, looks like you do not have the capacity to stand up for the school district because you not respond by your own. You should the HR. I wasn't expecting that because I not write him out to HR. I was writing him up to you guys, to everyone individual. So, but whatever, according to this, looks like you guys never done anything, whatever is fine, Mr. Pixiora. You know what's going on for the last 4 years about. You ever done anything, regardless of the 88 compliance? And many schools,
You guys haven't done nothing. Section M is supposed to be in a tour place to be take care the ADA issues. You never done anything about that. So I saw so many violations, still nothing been done. So that means you prove it to me, you do not have the capacity to keep going, your position. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Jorge Quintero.
Buenas noches.
Good evening.
Miembro del board,
Members of the board,
doctor Quisiora,
Dr. Ketzior,
maestros,
teachers,
padres y comunidad.
parents, and community.
Gracias por el reporte que hicieron acerca del señor Romelio Ruiz.
I want to thank you for the report that you gave us about
la junta
Mr.
pasada.
Romelio Ruiz during last meeting,
Porque estuvimos en el mes de los latinos.
because we were at the
Y,
month for the
espero
Latin
que
people.
que el próximo año
And I hope the next year
se siga mencionando al señor Romelio Ruiz.
we continue to mention Mr. Romelio Ruiz.
Nosotros aquí en Moreno Valley, la comunidad latina es muy grande.
We here at Moreno Valley,
más del 70%.
the Latin community is really big. It's more than 70%.
Y la gente necesita saber
And people needs to know
cuáles son sus activistas, cuál es la gente que
which
nos
ones are
representa en
the
realidad.
activists and the people that represents us.
Espero también, hubiera sido bueno que invitaran a los familiares. Sé que tiene familiares aquí el señor Romelio Ruiz.
I think that it would be nice if you invited some of his family members. I know that Mr. Romelio Ruiz has family over here,
Hubiera sido bueno.
and it would be a great idea.
Y espero que se implemente esto en todas las 40 escuelas que hay en el distrito escolar,
And I hope that this is implemented in all the 40 schools,
porque reconocemos todos los liderazgos como desde Abraham Lincoln,
because we recognize all kinds of leaders like
como
Abraham
George
Lincoln,
Washington,
George
Jefferson,
Washington, Jefferson,
Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks,
Martin Luther King,
Rosa Parks, entre otros. También nosotros tenemos
and we also
a César
have
Chávez,
Cesar Chavez,
comparado casi con Martin Luther King.
that is almost can be compared with Martin Luther King.
Y hace poquito mencionaron
And
a
not
Silvia
that long
Méndez
ago, they
contra
mentioned Sylvia Méndez.
contra el Westminster distrito.
Against the district of Westminster.
Yo hice una encuesta entre como 100 alumnos.
I
100
realized like a survey between like 100 students,
y nadie conoce quién fue el caso de. Sí que lo mencionaron hace poquito.
and
hace
nobody
unos
knows
minutos.
about that case. I know that it was mentioned not that long ago.
Silvia Méndez,
About Sylvia Méndez.
donde fue la segregación racial, los mexicanos en los
That it
40.
was the racial segregation
No eran
for
los-
the Mexican during the 40s.
No eran aceptados en escuelas
They were not
de gente
accepted
blanca.
at the schools where there was white people.
No, únicamente las minorías estaban segregadas.
Only the minorities were segregated.
Y este es un muy buen documento, buena
And
cosa es una cosa buena que
This
los
is a
alumnos deben
good
saber.
document, something good for the students to know.
Porque Silvia Méndez fue un ejemplo.
Because Sylvia
Para-
Méndez
para la
was
comunidad
a good
latina.
example for the Latin community.
Y aparte también para todas las comunidades
And
de minorías aquí en Estados
also
Unidos.
for all the communities of the minorities here in the United States.
El caso fue que en el condado de Orange
This case happened at the Orange County.
y sirvió de ejemplo para toda la ciudad de California y
And
el
it
estado.
was like an example for all the entire city of California and the state.
Y todos los 50 estados de Estados Unidos.
And also for all the 50 states in the United States.
Silvia Méndez se compara con Rosa Parks
Sylvia Méndez can be compared to Rosa Parks
en cuestión de las segregaciones raciales.
regarding racial segregation.
También debería tener su día
And
como César
I
Chávez.
think that we should have a day for her, just like Cesar Chavez.
Es todo lo que tengo que decir.
That's all I
Gracias.
have to say. Thank you.
Mr. Gutierrez. Socorro.
Buenas noches, miembros
Good
del
evening, members of the board,
el doctor Quishola.
Dr. Ketziora.
Estoy aquí porque estoy representando a los padres de la escuela Sonimeros.
I'm here because I'm representing the parents for Sunny Meadow School.
En este momento estamos todos bien emocionados
Right now, we're all very excited,
y le doy gracias al doctor Quishola porque él me inspiró a mí
and I really want to thank you, Dr. Ketziora, because he really inspired me
para reunir a los padres para formar el equipo de lectura del libro.
to get all the parents together in order to have a team with the parents to get together with the reading club.
Y hemos juntado en estos 2 meses a 14 personas
And we reunited 14 people during this month.
y hablando con ellas les comenté que necesitamos involucrarnos más en ayudar a la escuela en los salones.
And I was talking with them and I was telling them that we need to participate more and we need to volunteer at the schools and in the classrooms.
Muchos de ellos han venido a poner su aplicación, su solicitud para ser voluntarios.
Many of them came over here to the district to fill up their application to be volunteers.
Y ninguno de ellos ha recibido la notificación que lo puede hacer.
And none of them received any kind of notification letting them know that they can do it.
No sé si porque no lo entendieron, porque lo que vi ahí que están pidiendo es demasiado.
I don't know
Probablemente
if
no lo
it's
entendieron.
because they didn't understand what you were asking, because what I just saw right now is like a lot what you're asking.
Y pues necesitamos la ayuda. Yo sé que
And
ustedes
we
tienen el
really need the
poder
help. I know that you have the power.
y que no se nos quite la emoción que tenemos ahorita de ser integrantes de la
Don't
escuela.
let our excitement go away, that we really want to be part of the school. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Maricela Quintera? She's not here? Okay. Roy Bleckert?
CJ, I just caught your email from last week, so give me a call tomorrow. Be happy to meet with you anytime. What I want to address is the test scores did come out. The Press Enterprise and the Sun wrote an article. What struck me is Riverside and San Bernardino counties are lacking in achievement statewide, generally, which is a problem, and that's something that we have to look at all across the board. But what struck me about the article and what I have dubbed as the I-10 or the I-15 corridor of achievement was combined test scores of English and math. There are 10 schools in Riverside County that are above the 50% mark in the standards of English and math. And 7 of them happen to be on the I-10 corridor from Rancho Cucamonga down to Corona through Temecula. And the others being, I think, Desert Sands and Palm Springs, Redlands, and Calamasa. So what I would like to see from the board and what I would encourage the board to do is look at the model that has been built on the I-15 corridor of achievement and how we can implement those policies in Moreno Valley Unified School District. Because as I recall from the last meeting, the superintendent mentioned somebody that said, well, I would like our district to be like Redlands, Calamasa, and they're at 51% combined achievement, where Moreno Valley is only 25.5%. Now, that's a long, and I believe the comment was, well, we're better than them. That's kind of a stretch, and, I really would like to believe a lot of what you're saying, but when I hear that, that kind of raises a red flag. So, it would just encourage you when you're making comments or stuff that we are basing them on realistic stats and what it is. I realize, and this guy would be the first one that would not be up here if we were on the top, in the top 10. I mean, I would be happy as a lark if all of our students were up there in the top, and I believe we can get there. It will take a long way. We're a long ways behind, but it's going to take some bold policies. It's going to take, I believe, a 100% relook at what you're doing. as far as student achievement, how you interact with the public, how you move, and so we can all get on one page, because we will never move this city, this school district, and the people of Moreno Valley forward unless we all come together, unless we're all working on the same page and we're all rowing the boat in the same direction. And I would encourage all of you to start precipitating that, look to that, because that's the way we will become number one.
That was it, right? Okay, so moving on to consent agenda, page 11. I don't know if you guys are there. Okay, all matters in this category are considered to be consistent with board district goals. There'll be no separate discussion of these items, and if discussion is required, items may be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Mr. President, I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Yeah, but
wait,
thank you for doing that, but I have a little note here that says item F4A1, which was already voted on separately, so we need to make an amendment. So we can still, take your motion and the second, but let's make sure that we're doing it with this amendment, okay?
Mr. President, I move we approve the consent agenda excluding item F41.
Thank you. And you're
I'll second that.
All right, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. So we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstention. That motion carried. Let me see now, we got to go to page 47, in case you guys don't have it already. Action items. Educational service action item.
I make
Yes.
the motion that we approve the actions on the student disciplinary cases.
Okay, Mr. Barr, can I get a second, please?
I second that.
Okay, Mr. Morgan, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. So we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstention, and that motion also carries. Now let's go to page 52, where we talk about business services action items.
I make the motion that we approve Resolution 2017-1818.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
Mr. Vaughn, Mrs. Smith. Okay, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye, so we have, again,
You abstain.
oh, yes. So actually, we have 4 ayes,
One abstention.
no nays, and 1 abstention. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Motion carried. Call for the vote, please.
We did.
Oh, she just did it? Okay. Okay, so we did it already. All right.
It's getting late.
So it's getting late. No, it's getting early. Yeah. Okay, we're on page 54 now. Superintendent's discussions items. I don't see anything unusual. Could I get a motion on this one?
Mr. President, I move we approve item H1A as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay. Moving second. Could we get a
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
aye? So we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstention. That motion carried. Now let's go to page 56, where we're talking about human resources discussion action items. Review position title change. Yeah. Dr. Verdi, would you speak with us, please, about this title change?
Sure, Mr. Johnson, I'd be glad to. The next 2 items both pertain to the implementation of our new district-wide safety plan that Mr. Del Scott had presented to the board back over the summer. And in his presentation and as part of the safety plan, we talked about moving away from campus supervisors and implementing the new campus security officer position. And also the other position, which is the district patrol officer. That's the next position the board is going to be asked to look at. As is our normal procedure, even though those were reviewed in that safety plan and in the transition plan that Mr. Scott had presented, we pulled out those 2 job descriptions for board approval separately, away from just the transition plan. So the board has been apprised of the transition plan. These things have been put in place. This now is just a look at both of the job descriptions separately for final board approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. We're changing job titles. Does the job title include more money?
It does. So we negotiated that with CSCA. We're actually eliminating the campus supervisor position, and we put some different responsibilities, and this position actually will also include much more training. A lot of our folks have actually already started to transition into this position by getting the training done through Mr. Scott.
So all of the campus supervisors are now going to be Campus Security Officer 1, and we'll pay them more money.
If they qualify. So some of them, Ms. Smith, have decided that they did not want to go into this particular arena, that this is a little different than what a campus supervisor is asked to do. It's really more responsibility, more training, more of an emphasis on different safety-related areas. So several folks have started to go through the training. Some have completed the training and have moved over into this position. Some folks have decided that from the onset, when we did the transition plan, that this wasn't necessarily going to be for them. So we've looked at putting them into other classifications. Some folks have retired. So it wasn't just an automatic transference from one classification to the other. They still had to meet the requirements for this new job.
Okay, it just seems to me like every single meeting, we're changing job classifications for some people, changing job titles and getting them more money.
Well, this isn't a reclassification, just to be
Or
clear.
job title. We're
Right.
changing the job title and giving people more money. And it's not just this job. I have nothing against the campus security officers. That's fine. But it just seems like we're doing this all the time, where we're changing a job title and giving people more money.
Mrs. Smith, when Daryl Scott was hired as the Director of Safety and Security, Dr. White and the Board of Education at that time asked him to look at our campus safety and security. And one of the things they asked him to do was look at our positions. And what the board did at that time was authorize this to change and to approve this. So this isn't something that's just happened last week, but it was done, and you might want to add to this. Thank you.
Good morning, Board President, honorable members of the board, Dr. Couture, executive staff. Ms. Smith, this transition plan was presented to the former superintendent, Dr. White, and the former school board, about a year and a half ago. Part of that plan was that although we're doing a classification reclassification, and we're paying that classification a little bit more money, we're also doing a reduction in force. We've currently saved the school district $250,000 by doing that. We anticipate saving another $300,000 when it's all said and done. So we're actually saving money and not spending more money.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I always want to save money.
Yes.
Did you want to say something?
Good evening, Board. I was going to speak, but we had some other issues because I was out of town most of the day. But this came from the LCAP. When we started in on the LCAP in the early 2014, the community wanted to strengthen the safety of our kids. And that was our #1 priority, to develop a force on our campus that were more equipped and more knowledgeable as far as how the safety of our kids should work in lockdowns and everything else. This team has been trained even to the capacity of our police officers trained. They spent 5 days in a police academy being trained on how to properly handle our students and proper verbiage on handling the students to make them safe. You know, considering what's going on around the world, you know, it was a call for the community to keep our kids safe, and we as support staff want to keep our kids safe, so we answered that call by you know, upping the job and the responsibilities and the excessive training. It's over the top with what they're learning and how they're doing. As Mr. Verdi stated to you, some of them didn't want to make that change, you know, and some of them are choosing to retire. So they had these options. But we're making sure our #1 priority are our students and making sure our support staff have that knowledge to take care of them. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Did you?
Yes, so this is a new classification, but how many positions does this involve? I forget that number.
So initially, when I got here, we had 63 employees under this classification. We currently have 57 now. And by the time we implement the entire program, we'll be down to about 47, 48. There is a savings to this, not a cost, but a savings.
So pretty much one per site, or how's that?
Well,
work?
when the deployment plan will be 5 per high school, 3 to 4 per middle school, and the same number at the alternative school sites. We'll also have individuals or employees on patrol. We currently utilize a private vendor to do that. We'll utilize our own folks with our current budget and save the cost of using an outside vendor as well.
The other thing to point out is that the position frankly demands more than the campus supervisor, and therefore it should be compensated more. So it wasn't a matter of simply taking a campus supervisor, changing the title, and paying them more money. It was a complete job reclassification, and they had to be qualified for the job. If they're not qualified, they don't get the job. And we were able to find other positions for them within the district, or they retired. This is their choice. But anyway, I think this is a very good thing, and I would make the motion that we approve it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Can I get a second, please?
I second it.
Okay.
One additional comment?
I
Go
second
ahead, I'm
it.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we understand this. This is more for protecting the students,
Right.
right? Protecting the students rather than the opposite, going after the students. This is for protection of the students and staff at the sites, right?
That's correct, Mr. Holguin. The protection of the students, I think also with the extra training that Mr. Scott alluded to, preparing our staff better for what we deal with in the modern age. So it's really, it's a better level of protection for staff and students. That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a second, so call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Holkey?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Ba?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye, so we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstention, motion carried. And thank you for coming up and briefing us on what we talked about a year and a half ago. Thanks. On page 64. Okay. Approve new classified position and job description, district parole officer.
I move we approve.
Before we do that, could you just give us another brief on this position, please? Just to make sure everybody understands what this is. District Patrol Officer.
So with the district patrol officer, as I stated before, we currently utilize a outside vendor to patrol our school sites on the weekends and at night and on holidays. We want to eliminate that outside vendor and have our own employees do that for a reduced cost. So simply, they're going to be patrolling our school sites on nights and on weekends. We have ownership of those employees. They have ownership of our school sites. They work for us. We can hold them accountable. They can help us hold our school sites accountable, folks who come on our campuses, instead of using the outside vendor who can't always hold accountable.
Yes. And they also patrol this area as well, right?
They'll patrol every single school site, every single district property that we have on the books.
Yeah. I ask that because I've been out here late at night and I've seen a car parked, and I was wondering about that car and how safe that person was working this late. I didn't know if the person was out of town or what have you. But I've also seen this patrol car that's the person that we hired to do our patrolling for us. So I know we had the outside service, so now you're saying we're going to have our own folks there.
This by
That's
far
gonna
will
make us
enhance our ability to reduce burglaries, reduce vandalism, and protect our property and our assets.
Good, yeah. Okay, so call for the vote yet? Do we have any more questions before I? Okay, thanks.
Jesus made the
Okay,
motion.
Jesus
I'll
made the
second
motion.
it.
And Mr. Barr, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan?
Aye.
Mr. Holkey?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Ba?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye, so we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstentions. That motion carried. Now we're going to go to Resolution 2017-18-17 on page 72.
This resolution, Mr. Johnson, is one that we bring on occasion to the board for the elimination of vacant positions. Again, when certain positions stand vacant for a while on the books, if the site has identified there's not a need, or in the case of certain instructional assistant positions, if the students have moved on and the instructional assistant is not required for reassignment, we bring these forward for elimination. For tonight's particular resolution, all of these positions are vacant positions, so no one is being adversely affected or reassigned to a different site because of this action. It just allows us to clear the vacant positions from the books.
Okay, thank you. Any questions before we get a motion?
I motion.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Mrs. Smith, okay. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Morgan.
Mr. Morgan.
Aye.
Mr. Hulking.
Aye.
Mrs. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Baugh.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye, so we have 5 ayes, no nays, no abstention, and that motion carried as well. Now we'll go on to page 74. I think we have acknowledgements. Mrs. Maddox, I think that's your area. Anything you want to share with us on that one? Okay.
This is to acknowledge that we have received no Williams complaints for any school in the district during the quarter that's indicated.
Okay, so there's no action to be taken on this one. So, page 76. That's the one we all been looking for, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Morgan?
What?
I said, that's the page we've been looking for, right? You didn't say anything, so.
Board comments.
Oh. I'm like, what? What am I doing with this envelope?
That's okay, I'm sorry I caught you off guard. I thought you were with us.
On that note, that's all I have to say for that. I'll pass it on to you, Jesus.
Mr. Odine?
All right. Okay, so I want to comment on the this past weekend. Dr. Getsura already mentioned the Unity Conference with the California Latino School Boards Association. We were there for 4 days, and a series of workshops, keynote speakers, and special presentations. We had a forum with 4 of the candidates running for governor, and 2 of the 2 candidates running for state superintendent of public instruction. It was a very well-received, well-attended conference, and the reason I wanted to mention it is because we highlighted Moreno Valley School District several times during the conference. One of them, Dr. Getsura mentioned, the opening reception. We designed that reception specifically to be dedicated to the arts in schools. So we had several speakers about the importance of the arts. We talked about the Declaration of the Rights of Students for Equity Arts Education. It was mentioned that Moreno Valley was the first one adopting that resolution. And then, as you saw in the pictures earlier, 2 students were kind of like the highlight. There were other students from the San Diego area, but our 2 students were the highlight of the evening. Yenzit sang the national anthem. And then George did the monologue on Stand and Deliver, and they both received a scholarship in addition to that. And then the following morning, Yenzit sang the national anthem again, and she opened with 2 additional songs that people really enjoyed, her voice, her singing. And the evening before, more than a couple of people came and asked us if George could repeat what he had done that evening. So Friday at lunchtime, we had him do it again, and everybody enjoyed that presentation. Of course, we had other students from San Diego, from Corona, from San Bernardino, and community colleges. On Saturday, we had 100 students invited to join the conference, and we had a special session for them so that they could understand concepts like equity and not have divisions in the school. These are 20 students that are struggling, but are willing and are ready to continue their studies. So we had those students there with a couple of speakers, and they received a great training for that day. Of course, they were hosted by several sponsors. So that was a good, a good highlight of the conference. But in addition, we had a presentation with Dr. Kiziora and Lily Villa and myself about the project moving forward, where it was highlighted how that project is working here in the district. So that was another highlight. And of course, being one of the organizers of the conference, I was up on stage several times mentioning Moreno Valley over and over, Dr. Kiziora and his role with the California League of Schools. We also highlighted the partnership with Pacific Crest, which was introduced this evening, and on and on and on. So we had many, many opportunities to highlight the work of Moreno Valley Unified School District. Very successful. Speaking about project moving forward, today we had an opportunity to be at the Riverside Convention Center and had two presentations. One was on the project moving forward, and the other one was on the Asterisk program. And I participated in the project moving forward. Ms. Smith participated in the Asterisk program, and I think we had good attendance to those sessions. And Dr. Kiziora and several other members of the team were there too. So that was a good experience. But in addition to that, I'm sure Dr. Kiziora was going to mention this later. The two programs were highlighted and were recipients of 2 awards from the Riverside County Office of Education. So I said it already, you can repeat it in your own words, but I'm just so proud that we had that opportunity and that recognition. So that was great. That was great. I wanted to mention about one of the speakers talked about Sylvia Mendez and the need for highlighting Sylvia Mendez. Last year, precisely at the California Latino School Boards Association Unity Conference, we invited Sylvia Mendez and other participants in that famous case, Sylvia Mendez versus Westminster School District. And we had a panel with several participants. And you need to know that Mr. Ramirez is an employee in Moreno Valley High School, and Mr. Ramirez is the son of one of the participants in the case back then. So that case is very alive in our district. We have one of the very close participants, and he has a lot of knowledge of that case because he was one of the speakers last year, and he brought a lot of material to that conference. So I think it's I have seen it already doing a couple of presentations here in the district, I think at the high school, so that has been highlighted. But yeah, it could be done again at the high school, at the district, or whenever there is an opportunity. But I know Mr. Ramirez is there with all that and looking for opportunities to highlight, the case from his version and how things happen because of his dad. The scores, the math scores, I think the 4 points, help me, Dr. Kiziora, 4 points, 4% by Moreno Valley Unified School District, the highest increase in Riverside County. I think that's something to be proud of.
It's out of 23 school districts, there were 2 school districts that had a 4% increase. Romaland and Moreno Valley Unified. The rest of the school districts in Riverside County did not increase that much. They were either 3% or below or no increase. And so we're very proud of that increase of 4%. And I also want to say this is a TK through 12 school district. Romaland is a 4 school district that's K through 8. So it's very significant what happened here last year in mathematics.
And it's very significant considering the comments that were made after the results were released, because there were reports, there were articles that were saying that in California there were no gains, there were no increases, and on and on and on. Kind of a not so positive mode, but I think what happened in Moreno Valley is it's an outstanding difference from the rest. So I just wanted to mention that briefly. Let's see what else I wanted to mention. I think there was another thing that I forgot I was going to mention here. So we're going to be at the football game, and I think I want to thank Dr. Katsiora and the team for highlighting the football teams, and especially that community evening when the invitation has been extended several times to community members to come and support the football teams. Just a reminder that we have more teams, not just football. So yes, the invitation to come to the football games, but there's also volleyball games. There are, tennis, and there's golf, and there's several activities where I believe there are many opportunities for the community to come and support their schools. And I think the students feel that support when people are in the stands. We've been to Vista Lago High School a couple of times where the stands are packed, and the students feel it. Not only the football team, but the cheerleaders and the band and everybody who's participating, and even in the concessions and every other position. So I think it's a good thing to go and support the students at all those events. And some of those happen on the weekend too. I know we're all busy on the weekends, but whenever there's a chance, I think we look for opportunities to support them in all respects. And I just want to say thank you, Dr. Katsura and the team, for putting together those activities like the one coming up on Saturday for STEM. I think that's excellent to have those events that highlight some of the great things that are happening in the district, and having our students participating and inviting community members to see what is happening there. So just want to say thank you for that. And with that, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I was happy today to go to the Riverside County and see Moreno Valley awarded for 2 of our programs. I was a presenter for the Asterix program. I didn't know I was going to be a presenter until this morning at 9:30, but fortunately, Dr. Kedzior was the main presenter, and my part was brief and already planned for me. So it's great to see our school district and our staff and our students being honored for their participation in different programs. The Asterix program is important because it gives students, most of the students, chance to have a first job and to see what the world of work is all about, and to give them the feeling of earning some money and being able to have some money to spend the way they want to, and having that feeling of, I did this and this is something that I accomplished. So I'm glad that our students have that chance and that opportunity. I'm also glad that we're implementing more arts in our schools. I went to the Arttober, I can even say that, celebration last Saturday at the Moreno Valley, what is it called? The conference center, the recreation center, whatever it is. And some of our students from Vista del Lago were performing, the dance team performed, and it was great to see our students participating and to be part of a community event. I'm also impressed that our test scores have gone up significantly. We can compare ourselves to other districts, to Redlands, to Temecula, to other districts that may be situated along the I-215. Our demographics are a little bit different, but we have made more progress than they have, and we continue to come after them to achieve, to be in the top 10. It's our goal as a board and as a district to be one of the top school districts. Progress is not made all in 1 year or 2 years. It's a gradual process, and we are making those achievements and those gains. Just like our graduation rate, we're proud that it's 87% or 87.6%. Yes, Dr. Kedzior would not like me to leave out the 0.6, but we're moving toward 90. We're moving toward 95. We're moving toward 100. It's not going to happen overnight, but we're making that progress and those gains, and I'm really happy to see that and proud of our district.
I just have a comment that I enjoy working with this board. I think we are a unified board and supportive of the students here. We enjoy working with the cabinet and Dr. Kedziora, and I believe we're making great progress, and I'm proud to be a part of the board. That's all I have to say.
Gee whiz. Jesus, can I have one of his minutes?
No.
That's okay. No, I don't want it. I have just a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm going to try to be as brief, really, as possible. But as I thought about what I was going to say, I thought about my career from the time that, well, I've really worked all my life. I was a shoe shine boy when I was a boy, a real boy. And but I worked a heck of a lot, doing a lot of different things. But my mother always told me, son, if you ever get into a confrontation or get into a situation where you have to defend yourself, one of the best things to do or to say is that you're sorry. And I didn't ask her right away, but later in my life I asked her, well, why would I do that if I'm not really sorry or if I really didn't do anything? And I can't remember her exact quote, but she said something like, never mind who's right. Do what you know is right. So, with that being said, I received a letter from a citizen, I guess about a week or so ago, and this young man sent a copy of the letter to my colleagues, to the cabinet, but it was for me. And anytime you get a letter that starts off patting you on the back, makes you wonder what's to follow. Apparently, I said something that that annoyed this particular person and perhaps other folks as well. So as I had time to think about that, I thought about what my mother told me. Don't try to figure out if you are right or wrong. The best thing to do is meet with the person face to face and apologize. Well, I tried that. That didn't work. And you guys heard tonight where someone come up to the podium and he said he's been out, so he didn't see his mail. But while there's only a few of you here, there's some folks watching TV, and the news gets around quick. I personally apologize to that young man for the comments that I made that hurt him. And basically, I'm not going to say everything that I said, but what I really talked about was that 3 of us here served in the military. 2 of us here did over 20 years. I don't ever really talk about that. I think I should be more proud of the 20 years that I served than I am, but for some reason, I am what I am. But I'm happy I did it because I have some benefits, and I'm glad that's behind me. And my colleague to my right, who's I see as a very, very good friend, he did the same thing. We went through different paths. He, like a friend of mine named Adam Simpson, you don't know him, but Adam Simpson went to my high school, and he was one of the kids that went to college right after high school. He took a chance that he wouldn't get drafted. Someone said, if you go to college, you probably won't get drafted. Well, as soon as he graduated, he did get drafted. And after being drafted, his first assignment was in Vietnam, and he never came home. And I bring that up is because even though I didn't want to go to the military, I wanted to get away from where I lived. I wanted to get away from being on the west side of the tracks, and you don't go on the east side of the tracks where Jimmy Johnson, the famous football coach, lived. Didn't want to go on that side. So what happens, I joined the military, and the first base I go to is Arkansas. Now, I'm going to date myself, but you don't know, but your grandparents remember that we had sit-ins in Arkansas at Little Rock. And I thought to myself, what have I gotten myself into? I'm in the military, so I'm restricted. I can't do some of the things that I always wanted to do. So why am I telling this story? Because I want you to know something about me. I've had a great, great, great military career. I don't think anybody could, I don't even think he could probably compare it to what I've done in the military. And I'm saying that, I don't really know where he's been and what he had. But anytime you can be with your family 18 out of 20 years, that's great. My family went with me every place I went except my last base, and I did that on purpose, so I didn't have to go to Greece for 3 years and have my oldest son, go to Spain to school. So I took a 1-year assignment to Saudi Arabia and came here. But I really don't talk about the military. I just really don't. There's something that holds me back. So what you're hearing tonight, a lot of folks don't know. I don't talk about that. But getting back to me apologizing, and I'm doing this in public. I want the public to know. But there is a reason why I'm doing it. First of all, I want the person to know that I really mean it. Because if I did something that hurt someone, I want them to know how I feel about that, and I'm going to make sure I apologize. But I have a commitment. I have a commitment to 33,508 students. There's no way I could sit here and dictate what we want our leaders to do if I don't do it. There's no way that I could read, a report from a school where we had Johnny and Timmy that was in a fight. And then they had to be forced to come together and apologize. I have those students watching me, watching all of us, but since I'm talking about myself, they're watching me just like my own kids did. And I will not let them down. I want them to know that if the president of this board does not mind apologizing in public like you're supposed to do, then it's okay for them to do the same thing. It doesn't matter who's right. It doesn't matter who's wrong. You have to do what is right. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this in public. Because I have all those students. Not only do I have those students, we have teachers. And they're human like anybody else. There's an old saying that falling down is not failure. Not getting up is failure. So a teacher may fall down just like anybody else, but that same teacher needs to be able to get up and be able to be the leader in front of their students, even if they're at home. Still have to be a leader. Because if they're a leader at home, they're going to bring that same attitude to schools, and our kids are going to pick that up. And that's what we want them to do. We want them to be the best citizens they can be. And I think that starts with me. So, with that being said, to the young man who was offended because I only talked about 3 folks being in the military, and those of you all that didn't go to the military, yada, yada, yada. Maybe I said it the wrong way. My 2 sons didn't go to the military. It's a personal reason why I could tell you, but I'm not going to. But there are a lot of folks that didn't go to the military. I hold no grudge against them. None at all. And I told you why I went. And then, I made a career out of it, and I loved it. He did the same thing. I don't know. The paths were different, but we still went in the military, and we still stayed over 20 years. And both of us enjoyed it. So please don't take offense to that. If you didn't go, you only stayed in 1 year, 6 years, or 4, if you didn't spend any, that's fine with me. I did what I had to do. And I told you I did it to get out of Port Arthur, Texas. I didn't think I was going to stay that long, but that's why I did it. But I can't forget what my mother told me as a kid. Never mind who's right. You do what you know is right. So I'm going to close with this last quote. Praise in public and criticize in private. Not a praise report, but an apology. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Tonight we had some speakers that brought up some information, but I want to say that this weekend at the California Latino School Boards Association, Assemblymember Jose Medina was there, and he spoke to Mrs. Maddox and myself and Mr. Holguin, and one of the things he asked us to do, or he wants to do, is to invite Sylvia Mendez from the Mendez versus Westminster case to our district. And he's working on that right now to make sure that she does visit our district. And I know Maribel Maddox is going to follow up with Mr. Medina and his wife, because she's in the book club with his wife, and she's going to make sure that we follow up on that request. I also want to say that if I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't think we were better, because that's why I'm the superintendent, because I do believe this is the best district. And today I visited a housing tract where they're building 170 new homes, and the salesperson, she asked me to come visit, and I went over there, and she said to me, a lot of times people come in and they say, are the schools good here? And she said, I wanted to know what you thought. Now, did you think I was going to go in there and say, other than this is the very best place your child can get an education? I said, I'm excited to share with you, and I gave her folders of information. And I also said, please have when they move in here, that my card's in there with my cell phone number, and I hope they call me, because I want to take them on a personal tour of the schools that they would attend in this area, which is Ridgecrest Elementary, Landmark Middle School, and Vista Del Lago High School, because the board and the cabinet is very proud of what's being accomplished, and I can't wait to show them. And she said, I've never met someone that's been in education that's so excited about what's happening. And I said, well, that's the way it is in Moreno Valley. And so I can't apologize for my enthusiasm or my belief that what we do here is the very best, because without that, we couldn't be. And I want you to know we continue to receive awards and be honored. Today we were honored for 2 awards for Models of Excellence, the Asterisk program, which is an intern program, and Project Moving Forward, which is a language acquisition program that's partnered with UC Riverside. And on October the 23rd, our district will be visited by another board member from another district to validate our application for our Golden Bell Award that we'll receive in December at the California School Boards Association for that same program. Something is exciting here. I also want you to know that today 2 more middle schools turned in applications for national schools to watch, and schools can't apply for these unless they're on a trajectory for improvement. And so Mountain View Middle School and Badger Springs Middle School turned in those applications today, and they'll be having a validation visit very soon. So we're very proud of those programs and the many programs that we continue to implement. 33 people are in Sacramento tomorrow and Thursday, receiving awards and congratulations for the PBIS awards in our district. So it goes without saying, yeah, we are better in many areas. We're not the best in everything, but we're better than many areas. And when you look at our dashboard, you'll see that our kids do a lot better than some other places sometimes, and it's okay to say that. I want to thank Mrs. Tate for being here this evening. I know you're representing MVA, but you're a teacher at Palm Middle School, and every day you get up, right, and you go in there after you sleep on that new bed you got, that comfort bed that you got, you told me about. She's so proud of that. And she gets up and goes in there to teach 165 kids, 165 kids at Palm Middle School. Now, how long have you taught there? Since it opened. And she's never left, and she's always been a champion of those children there. And she's what represents the best of Moreno Valley. So thank you for being here this evening. Thank you.
So it's 9:25. 9:25. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, Dr. K.